I do want to say to Donnie and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just look at Johnny.
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Morris?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Johnny.
Shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh.
The doctor lived next door to the janitor to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we're just so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Donnie, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all the more.
First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Malcolm X. Told you I'm going back to a book I read when I was about 15 years old. Couldn't put it down. Read it in about 3 days. And there was a quote that I memorized from that. It said, "I'd rather be what I am, a black man, than to claim membership with the most favored of any other race. I've been made sad when members of this or that particular race start claiming rights and privileges and certain badges of distinction on the grounds that they belong to this or that particular race, regardless of their own individual worth or attainment. Merit is in the long run recognized and rewarded. I'd say that here not to call attention to myself as an individual, but to the race to which I'm proud to belong. I'm proud to present to you the one and only Stan Long. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. What's going on, brother? Excuse the phones ringing in the background. Got some action in the back. But, man, I'm grateful to be a part of this platform, brother. And I want to say congrats to you, Donnie. You are doing some amazing work, brother. Boots on the ground. So, salute.
Salute, sir. So, who is Stan Long?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. Stan Long, Stan Long's a father. Stan Long's a husband. Stan Long's an author. Stan Long's a motivational speaker, talk show host, a whole bunch of stuff like that. CEO of DMV Black Wall Street. Thanks to you, Donnie. I just appreciate this platform, but you know, I just want to get into it a little bit about how I can serve, because brother, you are serving your community.
Well, what city do you claim, Stan? Let's get that out the way.
Well, DMV. Actually, Donnie, I'm all over, brother. But the DMV is basically where I was raised, and I'm born in Virginia, raised in the DMV area. Lived on your side too as well. My father's from Baltimore, so shout out to Baltimore. Be more in the building. Shout out to Winchester Arms. Shout out to Monroe and North Avenue and all the way over there to Green Mountain back. So yeah, I'm familiar, brother. Poplar Grove in the building.
And I recall your mom's having a powerful influence on your life.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So I was raised by a single mom. You know, my dad, you know, he wasn't in my life. He used to leave me on the steps and just would never show up for whatever reason. I can't figure that one out. But mom's did a heck of a job raising her son as a single mom, a strong black man. She taught me to be proud of my blackness. And from there, I just kind of evolved into who I am today. But she gave me that basis, gave me God base. always let me know that God was first in my life and make sure I carried him with me. So, you know, I had a solid foundation based just on moms, being a mommy dad.
And you are a dad.
I am definitely a dad. I'm a proud father of my son Seth, which is now 17 years old. That's a whole nother book in itself. I'm in a custody battle, which I will never give up on. But for those mothers too that's out there that you feel away, don't let that get in the way of letting your other significant other be a parent. I just wanted to throw that in there because that's what I'm going through right now. But God is still amazing. I'm still pounding the curb, trying to serve my community best I can, even with the weight on my shoulders. So yeah, he'll fix it.
Stan, if someone asked you about the state of Black men, how would you respond?
In trouble. In trouble. We're in a lot of trouble, Donnie. So we're in a lot of trouble in a lot of different arenas. As Black men, we've lost leadership. As Black men, we're starting to dumb down on our Blackness. As Black men, we're losing our masculinity. As Black men, we just on a whole kind of falling off. For the most part, we have some good Black men that's still filling in the gaps. I'm saying my younger generation. I'm trying to reach them. They sewing killer music. They're making it promoted so that they can win through the killer music. It's indoctrinating our community. So it's a lot of things that we need to address. The money's flying out of the community fast as it's going in. So now this is why we have to get together, me, you, and some people like ourselves, man, and make a difference. But I would say we in some trouble, but we making the corrections. It's just not as fast as I would like to see it. But we're turning. I think we're turning the corner. I say that.
Would you say the Black community has always been at war as long as we've been interacting with the Europeans in America? Would you say this has been a war?
I'd say it's been a hell of a war. But here's the thing. We can stop it right now. So we've been at war more so with ourselves, not knowing who we were, right? We never knew we were Hebrews. We never knew who Judah was. We never knew a lot of things that's important for our identity. So because we suffer from identity theft, we've played it out in the streets, so to speak. So it's just like any lost soul. If you didn't know who your parents were, you roam around looking for identity. You don't know who to relate to. You can't go back to that foundation. You never met them. So it's the same for us. We just waking up and realizing who we are and where we coming from and try to be proud again. You know, we used to be proud as Black people. We would say Black and proud, and we would stand together and unify. So until the unification comes back, I think that we'll always suffer. So that's why Black Wall Street is important, Donnie. And I think that we need to take that thing all over the place and really infiltrate the cities in a core to let them know that we really are the people, bro.
You said a lot there. One thing that comes to my mind is when you would tell me about going over the Southeast and pulling up on a playground in the middle of gang territory, and engaging the young men.
Right.
Tell us about that.
So for my background, I come from a background of Mr. Nice Guy and this and that. I'm a talk show host and those things now, but in those days, I was a kingpin drug dealer on this side of town from the DMV. Make sure you get that book, A Gangster's Cry, and it'll tell you the story on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. You can get the story, and it'll tell you this is my life, and I'm turning it into a film as we speak. But I used to have a passion for us, even as a young boy. I was young, 16, 17. I would always try to enlighten some of my other counterparts that you can't do this all your life. There's no retirement in drug dealing. We have two fates. We're going to get shot in the head, killed in the street, or go to prison. We're going to prison or we're getting shot. Like, that's just what it is. So it was a race against the clock for me, right? I knew this going in the door. My uncle always used to tell me, know what you're facing before you face it, right? There's consequences to everything. So I learned that. So I would instill this in my young boys, and I would always try to get us to be unified because I knew that that was important in the street, right? Unity was important in the street. So I would say we have to be together. No matter what we're doing wrong, if anybody come around here opposes, we link up, right? We don't let nothing come between that. And we have a goal. All of us have to have a mission to get out of these streets alive. And so that was something that we took on as a personal mission to, we were doing wrong, but we were trying to make it right, if that makes sense. So my mission was to try to get them to have the mindset to do something positive once we got to the other side. So that's kind of where God blessed me to not have to go to prison. Thank God for that. Not have a snitch jacket, not have a bad reputation. I'm 10 toes solid in the streets to this day. And I think that's all my foundation, my God business and what God gave me. So I try to get that to them. And a lot of us got it, and some of us not so much.
How do we reach the spirit, the soul of the black man? Can T.D. Jakes do it? Can Farrakhan do it? Can Al Sharpton do it? Can the preacher on the corner do it? Can the imam around the corner do it? How do we reach the soul of black men? I told you we're going to get hot today.
I like this, Donnie. We're going to do this more often. I love it. So that's the most important question that I think that a man can ever ask. The soul of the black man. That's where we most in trouble, right? So first of all, I think we have to get away from religion, right? And when I say religion, don't shoot me yet, y'all. What I'm saying is it's two sides of a man, right? You have a higher and a lower self. When you're dealing with spirit, you have to deal with spirit. You don't have to deal with religion, right? The words say spirit and truth. Religion wasn't it. So religion is dogma is what we call it. What it means is the root word for religion means to bind or be bound. It's a Latin word, right? So I'm saying all this to say, if we get away from what took us away from reality, which was religion, get back to spirituality, which is what we had inside of us, right? Then we can start having a foundation rooted in God. And this is where we got lost. We separated ourselves from God, right? And when we did that, that curse came and put us to it. And so this is what you see the remnants of. But guess what? We're waking up. We're waking up. So we have to start getting people like, go ahead, say it again.
Why do you say that? We're waking
because
up.
I hear more. My evidence is, first of all, I'm starting to see Kanye West's. I'm starting to see him get in so much trouble, like Dave Chappelle said, that he messed around and got Kyrie in trouble, right? And the reason he was in trouble was because of some awareness that they were bringing to our community, right? They was talking about how Revelations 2:9 spoke about some people, you know who they are, that would infiltrate and change some things around. And this is what got us confused and messed all up, is what I'm speaking on. So when I say the awakening is happening, it's because some of these young people, you see more younger politicians than ever, right? That's evidence. You see stronger politicians than ever that will stand up and speak truth to power, right? Not as much as they should, but more than they have, right? Not as much as they should, but more than they have, right? You don't have as many Clarence Thomases showing up as they used to. Remember what I'm saying?
Thank God for that.
That's what I'm telling you. So we are evolving from that, right? We haven't quite evolved and get there, but we have to start somewhere. So what I'm saying now also is money is not being able to buy us so easily, right? That's been a major issue.
I don't know about that.
Well, just think about it. We never had a Kanye before. We never had a man to say, look here, Mr. Jewish man, I'm going to let you have all your money back, and I just want to get up out these contracts and stand on my own. We never had that before, because we got a bunch of Uncle Toms like Stephen A. and them still trying to kiss tail and won't even let him speak. So you see, they still trying to hold on to the power, but we breaking loose. We breaking loose. See, we never broke loose, right? We was
Would you say Deion Sanders broke loose?
I say Deion Sanders, in a way, broke loose. I would also say that he still, I feel, needs to not just totally let go of what he started. I think that he owes his wife and family or community, but he owed himself first, right? You owe yourself first, because if you ain't no good, then you ain't no good for nobody, right? If you ain't no good, you ain't no good for nobody. Now, he gave him 3 years and a whole bunch of money back now, and a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of effort, and changed the program, brought a whole bunch of light to the program. So at the end of the day, now I ain't married to I got a whole nother situation I'm married to, which is me and my family. I can't just be married to outside the family and shoot myself in the tail now. I got to be married to me too now. I got to help my family too now. And so I did the charity work. I did the charity.
You can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone. And so you need more Deons to come along and sow into those programs and fit into the blueprint he started. He started a blueprint. So all we have to do is follow it. See, we got to stop needing people to drag our ass around all the time. We got to learn how to stand up. And this is part of what we have to get away from, that feminine energy that's being sold purposely into our community, and get more masculine, and men have to be men again. And that's where I salute people like you, Donnie.
Nipsey Hussle, he was on the give back, huh?
He was definitely on the get back. Fell into some political stuff as well. We won't get into that, but Nipsey Hussle to me was the blueprint for what we have to do going forward. The marathon should continue. It shouldn't be just words. I'm a person who has stood for the marathon. I was Nipsey Hussle when Nipsey Hussle was a baby. I was running through the hood with big gold chains, trying to sew into people and doing these things and jumping out of big bodies and stuff as a kid, just like Nip. So what I saw was a spirit that we need to attach ourselves to show you how to springboard forward, take some bad and turn it into good. And I saw Nipsey do that and magnify it. And so the reason Nip's not here is because a lot of people don't want to see that happen for our community. A lot of people want to stifle our community and put fear to let you see what will happen to you if you get outside the community. So because I'm not the scared one, and because we leaders over here, Donnie, we're going to go forward and raise the homeboy Nip's agenda up to the highest. And this is what Black Wall Street is all about. You know, Nip was Black Wall Street and didn't even know it.
So I don't know if you've seen the commercials, but here in Maryland, it's not a day that goes by that you don't see Kevin Hart pushing this sports gambling. And he wasn't alone. Kevin Garnett, Jamie Foxx. Now, Google say Kevin is worth $450 million. I want to know why he's calling out Maryland, a 30% black state, and pushing sports gambling on us when the whole gambling lottery thing first came about in Maryland in 1973. They promised money for education. Today, we have schools without heat. We have schools without air conditioning. We have lead in over 100 schools. We have a new sports. We have a new football stadium, a new baseball stadium. But we have classes as antiquated as the plantation.
With used old books that's marked up through, right?
So I got a problem with Mr. Hart right now. I got a problem. It's like, dude, that's like one time I was sent on a trip to Chicago. They wanted me to promote payday loans in the black community. Now I took the trip, and when I got back, I told them to kick rocks. I'm not promoting that.
Well, see, Donnie, that's integrity. See, a lot of men, a lot of young black men, like let's talk about Kevin Hart real quick.
I love this comment.
Yeah, Kevin Hart is a gatekeeper. Kevin Hart and all the people you named, they already got in, right? So they don't even see the harm. They see the check. They don't see the harm. They see the check. So they tell him, we'll cut you a $2 million check and we want you to promote this gambling app. And, you know, everybody loves to gamble. They're not going to direct it to his community. They're going to say everybody loves to gamble and blah, blah, blah. And so we just need you to blah, blah, blah. It's no different than wearing a dress. It's no different than wearing a dress. Some people wear the dress. Some people don't. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Some people wear the dress. Most people wear the dress. Some people won't. So you just have to find the ones that won't. And it's not many because they like to wear the dress.
So take me back to church. You study the word. We got churches everywhere. Churches, we have more business regarding churches than anything else. We have manufacturing plants. We're not making anything. We're not vertically integrating businesses. But we build a church, and we'll even build a church with a white contractor, even though 100% of our money come from black people. I heard a preacher say, we don't care if the contract is black or white. We just care that they're good. Where's the church in all of this?
The church ain't in all of this. See, that's the problem, Donnie. The church has pushed religion, right? And a lot of false narratives, right? Let me sip on this because this is heavy. Donnie, you asking some loaded questions. You trying to set me up. Good thing I can't get in
No,
trouble.
no, I want us. It was put to me last night, a charge that why aren't we reaching our brothers? Why are so many here in Baltimore? A cat will stand on a corner all damn day yelling, blues out, blues out, blues out, all damn day. You can hear him 2 blocks away. And I think to myself, imagine, and not to be religious, but imagine if he was saying a prayer that loud that I could hear him 2 blocks. Imagine if he was using that voice, that strong voice, for something positive. Imagine that. I don't want to call the police on, but brother, you getting on my damn nerve. I want to walk over and put us over by the liquor store, so I ain't been going to the liquor store these days. But and then I just want to look at him like, really? You do this all day? And so then we look at the kids. Oh, damn, look at them kids. Well, that's because his uncle, his daddy, his father, his brother, his son is you. We are conflicted.
Yeah, we are. But so let's speak to the church for a minute, because I think they play a vital role, right? So church has pushed the wrong narrative. See, the church, a lot of people. So the church is supposed to be a community-based situation. It's supposed to be for your community to come in, get serviced a good word, and then be able to take it out into the community, right? And feed the community the same narrative, a good narrative, right? That's what was supposed to happen. If you don't pay tithes and offerings to this particular church, you can't even come in there and say you're a member. Even if you live next door to the church, even if it's in your community.
Can't get married there.
You can't get married there unless you pay tithes and offerings to the church, and that's how you become a member and all this kind of stuff. So this is an institution at that point, right? Making God's word profitable, right? That's not the church we talking about. We talking about the church where you make disciples of men, and they go out and spit real light to people, grow them up spiritually here, so that they can in turn be leaders of their households. And if every household had that, then the pants are up, the pistols are down, right? The pants are up and the pistols are down. Because I was one of those young men. See, I'm not talking out of place, because I was one of these young men in that street, pistol toting, vest wearing, drug slinging, all of this kind of stuff. So what I'm saying is, if the church would have been given light instead of giving religion, then we would have been okay. See, now it's time for us to correct the religion and give light and tell a man what he really is, what God is inside of him. You ain't got to go far to look for him. And the energy that's inside of you can change your vibration and make you be able to attract the things you want. All of these are real principles that the church never gave us. They didn't tell us who we were. Judah was the Negro. They didn't tell you that Moses was a Levite, which is a Haitian. They didn't let you know who you are. Yeah, that's real talk, what I just told y'all. So you can go to the Cool Word on Facebook and drop all those 21 sessions about the Hebrews and who we are as the 12 tribes, because it's not just the Negro. And all these things needed to be implemented as growing up children. And then we would have pulled our pants up on our own, and we would have put the pistols down on our own. Because when you have a really rich father and you have a bloodline full of inheritance that's wealth, then you don't act like a peasant. You act like a king.
You go to the church, it's mostly women. The women are dominating the church, and the preacher's word is quite often directed to the sister, and he's just glad there's a few brothers in there. But a lot of brothers don't trust the preacher, especially if the preacher got a reputation for knocking off a couple girls on the front row.
Yeah,
I ain't bringing my wife around you.
And so, Donnie, that's again talking back to religion. This is what's happening. So the preacher is preaching, but he's preaching religion. He's not giving you spiritual principle. So the young man that's knowing this, not coming in there to hear buffoonery. I'm an evangelist, but I don't go to church. I said I'm an evangelist, but I don't go to church. So what the church started doing was coming to me. Shout out to Pastor King, Jamal Bryant. So we get ready to grow some weed in the fields and give men jobs and all this stuff and educate them about cannabis and show them that these things can be medically used, and it's the largest plant used for medication in the world today. And all of these things have been used as drug tools to put people in prison and give them long-term jail sentences. And so we're reversing all of those things and changing the rules and mandates in each city and state so that these things can become legal for young men not to be in prison, but to actually fund themselves education and all these kind of things that we need. And so shout out to the pastors that's moving forward and getting rid of some of that old time religion, because it has to die or to kill you.
So, as you mentioned, the preachers, a lot of us are also Muslim.
Yep, for sure. Ain't number brothers.
Where's the mosque in all of this?
Ain't number brothers. Man, Jacob and Jake, you talking about Jacob and then you talking about Ishmael. They come from Abraham. It's all in the bloodline, brother. You just got two different baby mamas.
I've seen here in Baltimore Muslims and Christians now working together.
Got to do it.
Movement called We, Our, Us. And I can tell you, 25 years ago, at least one member in this group would have never worked with the Muslims on taking back the streets. Not so today. I've seen growth in my own circle where hardcore Christians are coming to see that a child of God is a child of God, and slow down on these religious values.
That's it, Donnie.
That separate us. And to his credit, Minister Farrakhan comes to mind when he shared that Million Man March, that Willie Lynch speech. Stan, we still suffering from light-skinned conversations, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Still suffering from AKA Zeta, Kappa, Omega. Black people struggling to be Greek. I'm African, and I ain't knocking the fraternities, the sororities, the Pan-Hellenic, but I'm looking at the energy we put into things and what they ultimately mean. It's supposed to be about service, but I'm watching young men on Baltimore corners for 12 and 13 hours, and nobody sees their crowd. To his credit, the mayor of Baltimore has been working to reach the squeegee kids, because Fox 45 makes it an issue every day. They don't talk about the addicts in my alley who don't look like me, who steal out the dollar store, make the price of our goods and products go up.
Wait a minute. They don't talk about the what now? They look like who? Say what?
The white addicts.
Okay.
They don't mention them at all. They all in the hood.
Yeah.
They mention on the news every day is the squeegee kids. Like the squeegee kids are the problem with America.
So to your point, you talked about religion and all these other things, and the gloss past that and go to where you're going now. I was just in Baltimore yesterday, day before yesterday. I called you. We was talking about, look, me and my guy I had a pastor friend with me. We was looking at some commercial buildings and stuff like that. And of course we ran into my squeegee guys. We respect them though. See, because what I respect about them is they could be robbing you and putting a pistol to your back. They could be punching your damn throat or choking you out and putting your wife to bed. It could be some things. They could be breaking in your back door and slaying you in your bedroom. It could be some things happening because it comes out of poverty. It comes out of poverty. It comes out of want, lack. See, I had this. I come from a single parent home. I grew up in the projects. We had nothing. We had to make a decision. You're gonna eat or you're gonna pay an electric bill. This kind of so it comes from a lack. It comes from, I searched for money all day, one day with a flashlight, desperate. So I know that desperation. So when I see the hunger in their eyes, I'd rather feed them than to let them be takers and robbers. And so hopefully they'll learn to be businessmen.
Stan, I've seen us pull up on a corner and we'll give the addicts that don't look like me dollars. Not some change, dollars and a sandwich. And then we'll look at our own brother on the corner and get instantly angry. This cat is walking up to your car on North Avenue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I'm more like, sir, step away from the vehicle. You've had a 400-year head start. You can go take a bath and get a shave and become somebody's supervisor. But I'm watching my people and I'm saying, feed people. I ain't got no problem with that. But how does charity not start at home, brother?
Because we can't see the pain in us. We can see the slave in us, and we can see the master in him. So all we can see is that master look like he in trouble, and we got to save master. So it's a complex that we grew up with. We've always wanted to save other than us. When it came time to save us, we'll put a foot on your neck like a crab and won't even let you get up. And so this was the mentality that they helped us to have. See, so this is what I'm hoping we can change that narrative, Donnie. We got to get in their ear, Donnie. These young men ain't nothing but soldiers without a cause, Donnie. Them AR toters and them 300 blackouts and all. They are soldiers without a cause. We just got to give them a cause, brother.
How about this? There are those who are saying, I know Baltimore struggles with public education. I don't know the status of DC, but I know Baltimore and Prince George's in the state of Maryland, even though Prince George's is considered the wealthiest black jurisdiction in the state and one of in the country, Prince George's in Baltimore are 23 and 24 on a list of 24. We at the bottom.
So what does that say for us? What does that say for us as far as the wealth and as far as where they place it? Because the children are the children, and the money's different from PG to Baltimore, no, respectfully, right? Because this is the wealthiest county. So what the hell are they doing with the money? Like you said, the lottery bids. It was set up for education, right? Why we have books that's marked up and you can't read them because they was highlighted from last year and year before and year before.
But it's also in the home. There are people who say to me, Stan, not everybody's made for college. I want you to put a pause on that. Just stop right there. But yet I hear about cats who've been locked up 20 years, and while they were locked up, they got their degree. So I'm saying, wait a minute. Are you telling me that the only way we can get a black man's attention is to incarcerate him, and that's when he's going to decide to learn? Or are you telling me that we're just not capable of going to college on our own? I mean, people say not everybody's made for college, but dude get locked up. Oh, and now he's working on his degree. I'm a little confused. Now they say that I'm hard on school, that, you know, not everybody's made for college. Okay, but where do we get that thinking from? Because our people, you mentioned the Hebrew Israelites, Abraham, we built pyramids, we built kingdoms, we built empires. How about this? I seen a cat going up Pennsylvania Avenue one-handed on a motorcycle through traffic, ain't hit nobody, and you telling me he can't spell or learn, and that's okay. Help me out with that.
So it's not what you say, Donnie. You know what it is, right? It's intentional that they're not educating us. Don't you remember when they would have the slave master read you the word of God and misread you the word of God for their intent? It was control, right? So when a lack of education is an easier man to control, right? Once you get educated, you get alert, awareness, you get lit. So they don't want us to have no education. They put it there, but it's not for us, right? We don't. That's why we still have old ass books and all these, you know, dire straight situations in our school system today. And we talking about a rich county. We're not talking about poverty, but the money is not being placed there because that's not where their intent is. They're intentionally not educating us. Just like we fell by default with the Black Wall Street thing, wasn't intentional about the funding. Once they let us come to the white man, that's all we needed in our life. And that's where we go wrong. We have to be intentional. And so we teach them that this is what I've been doing. I've been showing my ex-drug dealer homies how you can turn that into a business, because if you can stand out there and duck the feds, duck the stick up boys, duck this, duck that, and stay out there 10 years straight and all that, then you could have did a corporation 10 times over easily. And so this is what I showed them, how to get credit without money. You use your credit and build your wealth, that kind of stuff. This is what we didn't know. How many of us was taught of credit and how to build wealth? And see, this is what we have to do. That education doesn't come through our school system. If you do go there, you're not going to learn how to be an entrepreneur in nobody's school. They want you to be a worker.
What do you see in DC public schools? DC public schools. What do you see in the DC public schools?
The same thing you see in B-More. Trash school systems, people who are just basically sending them through a system to get them to line up. It has nothing to do with education. They're not forwarding any education. They're not giving out any of that. These kids are being housed until they get to the next level. And that's what I see in all education, to be honest with you. So, you know, Dr. Umar Johnson not way off when he speaks on education in our America. Shout out to him. I just see that we've allowed it. We've been miseducated, first of all. They still telling you Christopher Columbus discovered America. And it's a bunch of buffoonery that we need to get away from. And the Lord is trying to separate us from it. Hold on. We holding on to our slave masters for some reason. We do not want to believe we have an oppressor. I don't know what it is, but we do. And we need to let them go and shake it off so then we can get enlightened, get some real education, find out who we are, whose we are. And then we can change the narrative. We're afraid of that narrative. So we run from a Farrakhan. We run from the name Minister Louis Farrakhan because they told you he was the boogeyman. And all he did was educate you for 50 years.
I remember Muammar Gaddafi was going to give Farrakhan $10 million.
20.
20?
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. government said no.
Yep.
And then under Barack Obama, Muammar Gaddafi got killed.
Yeah, well, they sent the hit because it was a reason for that money. It was a reason. See, this man didn't need no funding. They didn't need our currency. Okay, ask yourself this. Let's get off of that. I'm gonna show you something. Dubai is about 50 years old, right? Dubai. Look at the wealth in Dubai. Look at the unity in Dubai. And why do they need any other country? They don't. Why do they ask for funds from other countries? They don't. Why do other countries go to them? They do. Why? 50 years. So now look at the resources in Africa and look at the wealth in Africa and ask yourself, now we're tapping into it. Shout out again to Pastor King and the rest. We're tapping into it right as we speak. We're going to go drill in Africa as we speak. We're going to tap into diamonds and emeralds and rubies and tin and all the things that make the chips in your phone as we speak. We're doing those things as educated Black men. And this is what we're going to take the younger men and educate them to do. Those resources there are trillions of dollars worth of resources that we're tapping into. The Chinese fly there and steal diamonds and leave. The Jewish come there and steal diamonds and leave. Every other person that's known to man comes to Africa and steal diamonds and leave. And we haven't even touched it. We just hand it to them. So now it's time for us to do what they did in 50 years. In these next years, we can do the same thing, and we won't need resources. We'll be the resources. See, you don't need nobody to give you no slice of pie, Donnie. You don't need nobody to make you a whole bunch of pies. They just need to give us the damn recipe and get out the way.
Not going to do that. That's greed. They've been in South Africa hundreds of years at this point. You know, when you look at South Africa, Nelson Mandela, it hit me like a ton of bricks. He was the first Black president in a Black land.
Yep.
What in the hell is this?
Well, Haile Selassie, the bloodline of David, all these things existed, but they didn't tell you. So now in the end times, Donnie, the 400 years are up. So 2019, in case those who on here don't know, from 1619 to 2019, August 19th to be exact, gave you 400 years of oppression. So now your consciousness is being freed up. We wasn't chained here. We were chained here. So now we're able to free up our consciousness because we're not under the curse anymore. And this is why you're starting to see us transition. So when you say Africa's been dead to us, yes, because we were cursed. But now we're being returned. There's no Middle East, it's Africa. We're being returned to our land, and those things are being given back. So this is what you're starting to see. I'm headed there myself. I'm headed home for sure. I'm headed home. $80,000 to get you a full bedroom, 2.5 bath with an acre of land in Africa. So these are the things we have to educate ourselves about. Africa's not what we thought it was. Africa's a prominent land with big buildings and skyscrapers and gold everywhere, and we're kings still over there, and we still rolling. Don't let them fool you past the slave ship. We was kings and queens. Go back some. Let's go back a little bit and get our identity back. Don't let them steal it from you. Get it back. Judah's the kingliest tribe you could be is Judah, the Negro. Look it up. Look it up. Find out who you are. We got to know that. We can't move forward without that.
Politics working for us, Stan?
Politics will never work for you. You can't solve no spiritual problems with no physical solution. We'll never be fixed with politics. We got a bunch of board and paid for Uncle Tom ass kissers. So none of them are going to make a difference in color. They have to make a difference in idea. That's just like pulling down a damn statue. Who cares? We want to know why you put it up. To pull down the mentality that made you want to put it up there, and you can leave your statue. See, we don't need to tear down symbols. We need to tear down reality and give them a new one. We don't need to tear down no more symbols. We good on that. We did it. Yeah, we don't need to march around no houses and stop doing that. No, let them have the statue. Just change the mindset of why you wanted it there.
Sports, Stan, we put so much emphasis on our athletes. A friend of mine from high school will always see him talking about his son's athletic career. But Stan, when I look around Baltimore, when I look around other major cities, where's the Michael Jordan Center? Or now, DC, y'all got some nice recs. I love your recs, especially Benning Park. I mean, I've never seen a recreation center, except in PG, a recreation center with a football field with lights. Now, in Baltimore, every day Fox talk about the murders in the Black community. But they never talk about the uneven investment in the Black community. All of this money that comes from Obama, from American Recovery Relief, millions upon millions, nonprofits, millions. Where's the damn money?
Where's the money for the millions of dollars that infiltrate through the lottery system that was set up backed by education? You should have been able to at least build 20 schools by now. All this money floating around, right? So, that's just a Ponzi scheme, basically, for them to be able to, pull money into their own pockets and line their own pockets and be politicians. And they have the nerve to now, Donnie, tell us, well, you have to say this, say that in order to win. They know that all we need is a word. We have to just hear the right thing and we'll vote for them. And so we have to, like I said, we have to make people more accountable. When they don't do what they're supposed to do in legislation, go see about them. Put them up there on social media. Let people know that they're lying. Hold them accountable. We don't do that. We don't hold our Black people accountable. I saw all these people marching around talking about Trump. But as soon as our crazy ass president got elected and started doing all the buffoonery that I see him doing, we act like we colorblind. We act like we just blind to the facts. We forgot about the crime bill and everything else that he stood for because of color and who he said he was. Well, he looked the same to me. Like an idiot. He robbing and stealing and doing some crazy stuff amongst our community. And he'll give you a nugget or two here to make you forget about it, like free a prisoner, do something slight. And we forget and start cheering, oh, yay. But we're not paying attention. And so this is what I mean. We got to be more Donnie-like, You woke, Donnie, and you a leader and you bold. It's not many of you left. And so I just always salute you, brother. Ever since I met you, you've been on the warpath, fighting for everything you stood for. You've never wavered. And so this platform is potent, and I'm thankful that you still standing, brother, because it ain't many of us left.
Tell them about your platform, you and your wife.
Spotlight Over the City. So every Thursday at 7:00, Spotlight Over the City is a platform that we have here in the DMV where we basically interview a whole bunch of people. We put the spotlight on all kind of things in the community and that kind of thing. We close with an artist every week, and we have some phenomenal guests in the whole nine. So that's pretty much what we do. We do it as a team, and that's how we rocking. And we meet a lot of amazing people like yourself, Donnie, and the like. So I thank God for the platform. We're able to talk candid to the people. Sometimes we get a little smack on the wrist or a letter mail or whatever. Hey man, we still banging. So
now, do you still have the Hollywood lady call in?
No, no.
Okay.
Still
So,
friends, but no.
okay. How so you running it from a studio now? Because I remember when you invited me over a couple of times, you were over by Howard University, and that's where I saw that white man with a dog on Howard University's campus, and I was out of my mind.
Oh yeah. Oh
What
yeah.
the
So
hell
no,
happened to Chocolate City?
well, Chocolate City did what I'm trying to stop us from continuing to do. They regentrified Chocolate City, and now it's got a whole lot of vanilla in the city. And there's nothing wrong with vanilla in the city, but sometimes they come in and seem to think it's their city. And they've tried to stifle out go-go music, and they've tried to mute this and do
Hold
this and
up,
that. And
what?
so,
They tried to stifle the go-go?
you know, you get shot behind that now. You know, the whole city erupted. Everybody went crazy. So, you know, so this is what was happening. You have these, you know, white people moving in with their rollerblades and their Labrador retrievers, and they going down New York Avenue, and they start calling the mayor's office, complaining about the loud go-go music and the smell of marijuana in the city. And so they wasn't feeling that because they transitioned from somewhere where they wanted to change this narrative to make it suit themselves.
Oh,
Well,
so
DC is not that type of city.
we
And
got a
so,
similar thing here in Baltimore with these bike lanes.
oh yeah,
You
that
don't
mean they
see
get ready to uproot you.
nobody on a bike.
They gonna uproot you when you see a bike lane. That mean they ready to make some changes. See, you know. So this is what I see. You know, we have them in my neighborhood, as a matter of fact. And the moment that I saw the hospital up the street and they came and put the bike lanes in, I knew that they wasn't talking to us. You understand what I'm saying? They put the hospital up the street and then they put the bike lanes in my neighborhood. We've been around here years. We didn't have a bike or a lane, and so now we got bike and lanes. So we ain't riding in them though. And so I'm not knocking what people are on, but what I'm saying is
But
hold
see,
on to
that's
your
the
property.
problem. That's the problem.
What's that?
It shows me that some people haven't learned anything in 400 years. They think it's my way or no way.
And this is how they come in with entitlement.
And that's why there's perpetually a conflict, because there's no spirituality. That's clearly a person without a soul.
There you go. So I don't even have to speak to that, Donnie. This is where we are. We have spiritual problems.
If you had a soul, you would have went to the Indians and said, thank you.
Instead of creating Thanksgiving.
Thank you for feeding me some corn, as opposed to giving them some smallpox. Avatar comes to mind. That movie Avatar, the takeover, colonialism, neo-colonialism, and I'm right, because I'm white.
And so
you better get back because you black.
Because you black. And so, nah, Jack, we ain't doing that. And so it's a new day, brother. And so I just had to correct this old gentleman in the giant grocery store the other day. Shout out to this old white man. So I'm in the grocery store, Donnie, real quick, and the game is on, and I got $2-3 on the game, and I'm trying to get home and see the game and be with the family. And this white man is trying to court my old black sister. He just all in her face, and he just talking a hole in her head, and he been there 30 minutes. And he the only person in front of me was this sister. And I say, excuse me, Mr. White Man, sir, I don't mean to disrupt your courtship, but you cannot do this and disrupt the whole giant line because you're trying to hold court with this young black sister. So you can get her number or you can move along, but I got to be going. And so when I got to the counter, I was next, and I says, no disrespect, sir. I just wanted you to understand that was kind of disrespectful to the customers. And he looked at me, Donnie, with his old blue eyes, and he said, that's all you had to say at first. I said, you don't get the chance to tell me what I had to say at first, Mr. Entitled White Man, because this is not your day. I'm not that guy. You don't tell me what to say. I was nice when I said, sir. So we to the other side, or you can just ring me up. What we doing? Let me know. I'm not him, sir. I said, sir. That was a blessing because I ain't used to say sir. It's a cuss. So I'm trying to work with you, sir. But you don't have enough entitlement to tell me what to do, sir. I'm 54. That's dead. So, see, we have to stand up. We don't have to cuss him out. You don't have to punch him in the throat. You don't have to stab him inside his head. But you do have to get them together, though. You do have to get them together, though. You can't let them carry that thought to the next giant, see, because the next customer coming, he got to understand. Move on now, because the management would have told you the same thing. You can't be disrespecting the black man because you have entitlement. We have to strip that down.
One of them hoppers wouldn't be having none of that conversation. These hoppers not playing.
Not at all. So that's what I mean when I see the involvement. See, they gonna punch you in the throat. They're gonna say, "Who you talking to?"
He gonna be on TikTok getting. He will learn what it feels like to be a human mop.
And so this is the transition to where in our era they would say yes, sir. I heard my grandmother say yes, sir, to a 17-year-old white boy when I was 13 years old. She said, yes, sir. I said, Grandma, why would you say that? You old enough to be his grandmother. She said, one day you will understand, baby.
Yeah, but we ain't doing that no more.
So I understand today that that's a hell no, is what I'm saying. I understand today what she's saying, but that day is dead. See, we're not in that dead mentality no more. We're not slave-minded no more. These young people know they free. These young people know who they are.
How much does a woman have to make in our family, one of our daughters, if she came home and said, Daddy, they paid me $200 million to strip? Where do we draw the line?
Well, baby, they paying you $200 million to strip, right? But they stripping you down, baby, while they paying you, right? So we don't do the bought and paid Negro stuff over here, baby, because Daddy taught you better than that. So we don't just do it for the check. We do it for respect. You can't just do it over here just for the check. See, that's how these ball LeBron, that's how they show up. See, they do it for a check. It's principles in between there that you got to meet up with. And so my family gonna know principle enough that we can't just do it for the check. My daughter ain't gonna just be on the pole for no check. She can't do that. She gonna already have a bag though. See, that's the thing. She already too educated by her daddy to want to swing on a pole. So some of these young girls don't have a daddy or a mama or somebody to sew into them. So all they have is a lost cause. So that pole looks good. So it's just like the young boys with the squeegee. You just got to educate them and get them off of there. If you could squeegee something, then you could work and earn a check. And so it's education.
Stan, I'm going to step off the screen, but I want you to talk to our young people who may have grown up without a mom, without a dad, who may be hopeless, who may be on their way to the corner to hustle. I need you to save a soul, Stan.
Bet that. So first of all, thank you, Donnie, for having me on your platform. You have an amazing platform. You're an amazing man. So thank God for you. Salute. So to the young men and women, I'll talk directly to the men that I can save. Hopefully I can save one. So what I will say is this. First of all, I've been you, right? I'm not above it. I want you to understand that you're not by yourself in it. Everybody goes through a struggle or a trench at sometimes. Some people hit a wall, don't know which way to turn. I will let you know this. A man is not whole without God business. Not religion. Don't get involved with that part. Just start in a proverb a day or something to get your spirit balanced. Then you'll start getting what we call downloads. We all vibrating and got some energy. You need to get your energy leveled up to where you can attract the things that you desire. It's not a spook game. It's real talk. So you really get intentional, then God gonna start talking to you and give you what you call downloads. You ain't got to go nowhere. You ain't got to do nothing special. Just be in your house and be quiet. And so we have to learn that we can do better and grow better. Get involved with people who are doing things you want to do. I do films. I have books. You know, A Gangster's Cry is my book on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. This is a film that's coming out very soon. So Far Removed. Be on the lookout for that. And so what I'm saying is I'm coming from those corners. I'm coming from where I used to pull tobacco for $12 a day. That's as candid as I can get. That's how I pay for my school clothes. So what I'm showing you, if you're on the corner doing that squeezy thing and you know you feeling like your esteem is not that high because you want to make a better living, start researching what you want to do. Google everything. You Google it, start writing down the steps for what you want to do because it's going to give you every step. So if it's 10, do 1. Check it off. Don't wait for the money. That's the biggest problem that we have in as Black people. We waiting for the resources to come. If you do the thing, then the resources will come. So that's like people sitting in the house talking about they waiting on the Lord. Well, you're going to be tired and you're going to just go to sleep and wake up and still be waiting. Because guess what? The Lord only going to appear when you have energy to do something. So that's when it's a will. That's your business. And then he'll be the way. That's his business. I say you'll be the will. That's your business to have a will. To want to do something really, really bad enough Don't wait for the money. Act like you have it. Start taking those steps that you can do for free. Google it. Next thing you know, you'll be at step 10 because God will put people in your path. Every single day that I wake up, somebody calls me or someone connects me to someone that I need to fulfill my dreams. That's the same thing that can happen to you. Don't ever let fear, doubt stop you from doing anything in this world. Fear and doubt is the gateway to death. Fear or doubt. If you can just kill those two things and replace it with faith and confidence. Faith and confidence. Don't matter if your family never had wealth. No matter if you come from scraps. No matter where you are today. What really matters is where you're going tomorrow. So don't stay where you are. Let's progress and let's make sure that we surround ourselves with good company because you're really close to who you around. So surround yourself with goodness because whoever you around, that's who you becoming. Whoever you around. So look at your friends. If they just smoking weed all day and chilling, playing PlayStation, broke as hell, that's pretty much how you going to be looking. If your friends are on the internet striving to make a business and trying to put something together and working on something and selling t-shirts online and doing this and that, go talk to homie. Ask him how you can be a part. Start your own. Link up with other like-minded people. But best of all, just know, put God first. Not religion. Don't look far, look within. Close your eyes and look within and talk to the Lord just like you're talking to me. And guess what? You'll be fine. The downloads will come. Life will be great. Thank you, Donnie. I appreciate you, brother. My numbers are available to anybody who needs it. Donnie, you can put it up or whatever you need to do. Let them get in touch with me, man. I'm trying to save some souls. I'll come down to Baltimore. We can have some one-on-one sessions and group sessions with me and you, brother, and the rest of these young men. And let's get some things going, man. We got to be hands-on.
What phone number?
240 516 6181 6181 516 6181. I would love to entertain whoever's trying to grow, stretch. I got books, I got resources, I got people. We'll connect you to some people. If I'm not him, I can connect you to him or her, or try to. And let's get some things going. Don't never think it can't happen for you because you're just one person away. That's it. One person away. Let's make it happen.
Stan, on February 3rd, we're gonna be at the Omni Shoreham, and we want to recognize. Here we go. Want to recognize some of those Black Wall Street icons there in the district in Northern Virginia. When we did the Black Wall Street before, I remember the lady with that seafood sauce.
Tiffany Huntley, yeah, Huntley seafood sauce, 1,100 Walmarts in the Broad. She's all over the place, man. Every place you go in seafood, coming from the bottom, just like me, regular sister, right? Black sister, just young, my age, coming from nothing, no college education, but now she's building a ton of wealth and she has a product. So this could be you. This is what I mean, Donnie. So Black Wall Street, brother, is making some noise. So thank you, man, for getting me involved with Black Wall Street, brother. Salute to you, Donnie.
I'm proud of you, Stan.
I'm proud of you too, brother.
Come on up here and buy some more of this real estate. DC coming up to Baltimore all the time. Baltimore don't know what we got, man. Black people moving to Owens Mills and white people moving down the street. We don't want what we got.
Don't turn over your property. If you're in Baltimore and you got some good property, hold on to your property, or at least try to sell it to someone like your own so you can replenish that neighborhood with your own. Because if you don't, it'll be replaced with somebody who doesn't look like you. And the next thing you know, you won't even be able to afford to come back to your neighborhood.
Stan, thank you for the word of God, man.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me. I love you guys, man. Salute. Enjoy your day. Be blessed.
Yes, sir. Good morning, world.